Hi guys, if you're here, the voice of reason in the cryptocurrency space, and in today's verse, we're going to be talking about Bitcoin at 46,000. Why won't the banks love us? All right, so moving on. All right, so don't also forget to please subscribe to my channel if you haven't already done that. If you like my content, please like and hit the notification bell if you haven't done that as well. And if you find this video useful, please also share. Thank you. So moving on, right? So currently we have Bitcoin at today's price of about, this is the price, almost 46,000. We've dropped a little bit. All right. So what's not to love about Bitcoin? All right, so let me just use this drawing tool. So we are going to look at from this area to this current area, right? All right, so we're going to be using this ruling tool. And so Bitcoin moved from, this is, let's call this the 20th of July, 20th of July to right now, which is about the 11th of August. So in about 21 days, we have a move up of over 50%. Wow. And you wonder why the banks won't like you, right? You wonder why the banks wouldn't love cryptocurrency. No bank is offering that. The last time I checked, whether it's money markets or the treasury bills, I don't think you don't get more than 10% per annum, you know, and accrued to you. You don't get that from the banks. And if I'm wrong about that, also let me know. Thank you. And so you have that movement of Bitcoin. So if anybody that bought Bitcoin on the 20th of July when it was 29,000 already has 50% gains, over 50% gains on their money. Conversely, also, let's look at also this. So you have, if we look at this area and we also look at this area, right? So we use the same measuring tool and we measure from up here of 59,000 to down here of about 31,000. And so we have a loss of about almost 50%. So you have a loss of 50% in 14 days for this one, and again about 50% in 3 weeks. The banks are not going to love you. The banks are not giving you that kind of profit. So there's nothing to love about these kinds of movements because there's always somebody profiting from this level of movements, right? So it's little wonder you would see Janet Yellen. She's the Treasury Secretary in America. And this was February, right? February 22nd. And she warned she warned against Bitcoin and talked about how inefficient, extremely inefficient it is to conduct monetary transactions. One, that Bitcoin is an extremely inefficient way to conduct monetary transactions, right? And a couple of months later, May 5th, she hints that there will be new regulatory structure for cryptocurrency and digital assets, right? And even more recently, in July, the market slides as Yellen leads mounting regulatory scrutiny. And so the banks are not going to like you. Let's not also forget that when Bitcoin came on board, this is a white paper for Bitcoin, and the white paper of any cryptocurrency is just a technological brief as to what the cryptocurrency is bringing on board. So that's what this is, right? So all of these links, as usual, will be down on the description below. So you have this, and so the creator of Bitcoin, judging by this, created a purely peer-to-peer version of electronic cash that would allow online payments to be sent directly from one party to another without going through a financial institution or without going through a financial institution. So you start to see already Bitcoin's creation was waging war against the banks. It's supposed to exist without the need for the banks. And then this came out. Right? This story came out August 8th, and the same Janet Yellen, she's accused of banking corruption. What happened? Right? So this is the story. U.S. Treasury Secretary Janet Yellen has been accused of corruption due to receiving $7.2 million in speaking fees from just Citibank and Citadel hedge funds. So these are banking institutions. If this is true, these are banking institutions paying a Treasury Secretary, Janet Yellen, to speak against cryptocurrency. So the banks are against cryptocurrency. Of course, the banks are against cryptocurrency. Look at the crazy returns. No bank is offering you that. So it's like a child that you find is always watching television, for instance. And then you just notice the child is always watching TV, and then you ask the child to shut down the TV, and then eventually you don't want the child watching TV anymore. And then what's the next thing that happens? The child moves to your neighbor's house to watch TV. And then next thing you tell the child, I don't want to see you in the neighbor's house watching TV. And then what happens? You wake up one night, maybe to drink water, 4 a.m. Your child is smack in the parlor watching TV. At that point, what happens? You now say, okay, let's talk. You're going to watch TV from after school hours, 2 p.m. to 10 p.m. Regulation. You've allowed the usage of TV, but with regulation. And that's exactly what's happening in our space. And we need it in our space because there's a lot of people being defrauded in our space. And the truth of the matter is, if we are actually going to be seeing institutions like recently AMC Entertainment, supposed to be one of the largest theaters in America, they have recently said that they plan to receive Bitcoin at the end of the year. So if you want such institutions to come into cryptocurrency, then you want to be able to create some kind of legal framework that would help include them and also protect their dealings with cryptocurrency. So I don't really see regulation coming to Bitcoin as a bad thing, but I understand that the banks are not amused by cryptocurrency or Bitcoin, so I think we should embrace whatever regulation comes with cryptocurrency. We need it. We need it in our space. And you start to see this story is not part of it. No. But there's a lot of stories about, I somehow lost that story, but SEC, the United States Security Exchange and Exchange Commission, is throwing out a lot of regulations about cryptocurrency, and it's for the gain of the cryptocurrency space. It's important, and yes, we have such profitability from volatility, but sometimes also there are a lot more people losing money from this volatility. So yes, the banks don't like you, but SEC is trying to regulate you, right? So it's not really a bad thing, and I think that we should embrace the regulation that comes in the space because it's going to allow certain freedom in the space, although it's going to be restricted freedom. But I guess we need a bit of it so that others can come into the space with some element of without fear, because in any case what controls our market is a lot of fear and greed index. And let me show you what the fear and greed index right now is. So we are in greed. It's funny because 2 weeks ago I had checked this and we were completely in fear. This was when Bitcoin was at 38,000, and currently we are in greed at 71%. So it goes to show that, and once we're in greed, just know that the price of Bitcoin will tumble down at some point because there's a lot of greed, and that's what runs our market: greed and fear. But if we have some regulation, then maybe we won't be as greedy and we won't be as fearful. So let's embrace regulation in the space. And I guess that's what I have to say today in this video. So even though the banks don't like us, let's embrace regulation when it comes. All right, so I'll see you in my next video. Bye.